Stephon Castle was drafted as a defender, a connector, a he'll fit next to Wembanyama kind of guy. But right now, he's becoming something more, and the film shows it. This isn't about points. This is about why the Spurs already trust him and why his role is growing fast. Defense is the reason Stephon Castle plays. His anticipation, his active hands, his ability to cut off the ball handler and send them into help side defense. He's already understanding the Spurs' defensive scheme. He's been doing this since his rookie year, and the Spurs have their perimeter presence of the future. On this play, if he were to pinch off the corner guy, he has a wide open three. But without even seeing the ball on this play, being in the correct positioning and throwing his arms up in the air gets himself a steal in the passing lane. Ball screen actions are one of the most common offensive actions in the NBA, and Stephon Castle defends it very well. So he will fight over top of this screen, and his hedge defender will eventually sink down to guard the roll, but knowing that he's beat, he notices that the next play would be a kick-out pass. He gets his hands up in the air, gets the steal, and it leads out to transition buckets. To be a great defender in the league, anticipation is a must, and here he stunts at the ball handler, kind of showing that he might play him, and goes right back out to his own guy, gets the deflection, gets out in transition again. He does something similar on this play as well, where he shows towards the ball handler, but being aware of where the ball is and where his own matchup is on the wing, he's able to retreat back and get the deflection going back towards the pass going to his original matchup. So his anticipation, his IQ, his defensive IQ, we haven't talked about enough. He knows where man and ball is at all times. It's a simple concept, but obviously it works out in his favor here. He takes on the role of guarding the other team's best player pretty much every time, as he does here with James Harden. He forces the miss, they get the offensive rebound, but what does he do? He doesn't give up on the play, gets a steal on the back end on a kick-out pass, and it works out for an easy two on the other end. These next two plays we'll look at are on-ball defense rather than the off-ball defense we've been seeing with the deflections. His on-ball pressure is unmatched because he's able to force the offensive ball handler into bad angles or angles they don't want to take, forcing turnovers, missed shots, or even just bad shots. We obviously know about his defensive identity, so let's jump into his offensive emergence and identity there, as it's developed pretty rapidly over the last couple of years. And here the Spurs do a really good job disguising the flare screen action for De'Aaron Fox. Castle sees this and swings the ball over to Fox on the play. Fox's defender has to close out, and Fox attacking a closeout with his quick first step. He gets the three off, and it's an easy three. Easy action to start a play off with as well, even if he wanted to attack downhill, but he took the easy three opportunity instead. We got to see a little bit of this during the defensive segment, but he's very good at scoring out in transition, and he's a part of that big three of the guards that end up coming into the game that push the pace for this team. It's hard to keep up with the speed of Castle, Harper, and De'Aaron Fox down the court. And even on this example, you get to see De'Aaron Fox push the ball on a pass, not just dribbling the ball up the court. And you see Castle finish it through contact at the end of the play. One of the biggest developments early on in Stephon Castle's career is the pick and roll game. And I think he's done it beautifully so far. So on this play, we'll see two guys coming up for a screen. One will pop, and the other will slip towards the roll. So then that forces the help side defender in the left corner to pinch down and cut off the roll pass. Stephon Castle sees this, that's no longer an option, so he makes what we call a snake pass out to the opposite side corner of the pick and roll action. This guy ends up being Harrison Barnes. He takes the open three. He could have made the swing pass up to the wing because the help side rotation continued, and that guy dropped from wing to corner. Nevertheless, Stephon Castle makes the right read here and gets them an open shot, making this team pretty hard to guard because even with good rotations, they get open shots. Just because you push the pace doesn't mean you have to make a quick decision or make an impatient decision. And that's what young players really struggle with, but not Stephon Castle. Here on this play, he notices the trail man following him on the play. He realizes there's not a quick hit up the court, so he flips it back for the three-point shot instead of forcing something that's just not needed. The initial action of this play is a ball screen usage into a flare screen for Vassell, but the play kind of breaks down. There's not an open shot off of it, but Castle stays ready for an open catch and shoot three. He is only a 28% three-point shooter for his career and this season, but that doesn't mean he lacks confidence or won't take the shot. I'm very impressed with his ability to get his teammates the ball and make his teammates better so far this season, as he averages 6.9 assists per game. And this is with De'Aaron Fox at the helm, and he's not necessarily the primary ball handler every time down the court. So could you imagine if he was the starting point guard and actually ran the point guard position full time for an NBA team? Now we take a quick look at what actually makes his money on the offensive end of the court, and that's attacking the basket. Not only is he 6'6 with strength, he also has speed. This speed not only helps him defensively, but that quick first step towards the rim poses a threat towards defenses at all times, forces the defense to be in help side rotations, or else things like this happen. He gets by his defender and gets the scoop layup at the basket. We got to see him attack downhill in a one-on-one scenario, but we haven't seen him attack downhill in a pick and roll scenario yet. We saw him as a playmaker, but on this play in particular, his patience gets him the bucket, and that's what kind of slows down the play for his ability to get the floater off. It's a similar action here as well. He slows down the play, attacks the hedge man, being DeAndre Ayton on this play, gives him an up fake, gets him up in the air. You're out of position at this point. He gets the easy layup at the basket because Ayton gets put out of position. Stephon Castle continues to make his teammates better. He's becoming one of the top playmakers in the league on top of being one of the top perimeter defenders in the league. When the Spurs drafted Stephon Castle, most people labeled him as a connective piece, a defender, a glue guy, somebody who would benefit from playing next to Wembanyama. But as we fast forward, Castle's not just fitting in, he's forcing the Spurs to rethink their hierarchy. If you like this video and think Stephon Castle will be a future star in the NBA, please like and subscribe. This was another episode of Court Vision, a Life in the Stands production, and until next time, remember, the film never lies.